This is a warning. If I had known that day was going to happen, I would have turned back. But I didn't know, and for me that day started off happy. It was the day my action replay arrived. I had spent months after resetting my Pokemon White for a shiny Kurum, and finally caved into my own pressure and brought in an action replay code from a seller on Trade Me. It arrived in a box with a badly drawn and incorrect colored Pokemon on the box. Thankfully, it came with most of the major cheats already on it, so I wouldn't have to enter them by hand. Finally, after pinning down the Curium, I had found the AR also came up with some codes to generate legendaries. I caught shiny Vinci, Kaledo, Genesect, and Reshiram with no problem. But after catching shiny Meloetta, the game glitched and the capture screen on top half the sprite was in a shiny Aurora form and the bottom half in its normal Purette form. Irritated of having to recatch all my shiny legendaries again, I sighed and I kept forgetting to save. I had to restart the game. That's when things got really weird. When the game restarted, I was back on the same route I had before the game glitch. My party was also exactly the same as prior to the game glitch. Wait, except for that one small difference. The shiny Meloetta was now on my first in the party and appeared to have a nickname, Siren. I didn't think much of it. I had spent a few minutes after the glitch furiously button bashing, hoping for an outcome, so it was possible I entered something. The real problem began when I first sent Siren out of battle. First of all, Meloetta's cry seemed to be distorted and stretched, running for a bit longer until the sparkles that showed up the shiny made no sound. Then, before I even pressed the action button, Siren used Sing. After the wild Woobat fell into its slumber after the dialogue box came up and said, "The wild Woobat has snared. The wild Woobat has joined the party." Then after that, the game played in a fainting animation. A bit disturbed, I quickly flew back to a different city and went to the Poke Care Center to deposit Siren. Going to my box where I keep my legendaries, I deposit Siren and replaced with Ponard. I was going to evolve into Bisharp, when only to find out when I checked my party that Siren was still at front. I checked the Pokemon data for this time to see if any of my trainer ID. It said upside down letters, useless. I freaked out. This must have been some sort of Poke save cheat messed up and broke my entire game. I reset, and when the game loaded, I was back in Giant Chasm with the Ballop of Kyurem. Confused as I watched Judge Siren in the battle, her normal cry, man surged with the tune of the sing. The message box popped up again. Wild Kyurem has been snared, and then the Wild Kyurem is the following. Then the screen blacked out. After a pause for a few seconds, the screen reloaded to show the giant chasm of a shiny Meloetta sprite following behind my trainer like in Soul Silver. I reset the game one last time. This time it reloaded back to N's castle. During the start of the battle, N's sprite appeared on screen and started to move back out to send in Reshiram when the sprite suddenly froze. My trainer's sprite appeared on the screen, sending out the Pokeball that instantly I knew contained Siren S. Ren. And this time her cry was longer and deeper and seemed painfully drawn out. Ending with the first few notes high of Sing, the message showed up. Wild N has snared and Wild N will follow. I desperately restarted the game again and was completely deleted the save file to start a new game. After lazily skipping through the tutorial, it loaded as the little black trainer sprite was alone in his room. The box containing the free starter Pokemon was gone. A message came up on the bottom of the screen. "Why don't you love me?" I brought up the party screen to find it contained Woobat, shiny Kyurem, and the blurry overjoyed sprite of N. Another dialogue popped up. "See? All your friends like me." I tried to turn off the game, but the screen flickered back on. "What are you trying to run?" the box said now. "I love you." Suddenly the screen began to flash and the battle sequence started. Shiny Meloetta sprite appeared, but strangely twisted. The face was horribly blank, smooth skin, with mirrors dents for the eyes, and lipstick-lined wide-mouthed grin. In the place of the gemstone where the middle was a gaping hole straight through the other side. The bottom of the dress curled upwards into a pirouette form from the teal area of the hair. S. Ren's mouth opened wide, wider than possible, showing red-stained teeth as it bobbed and swayed with the motions of a normal Meloetta sprite. The black trainer sprite appeared on screen and then froze. A message box said, S. Ren, you sing. The lullaby-like notes began to play from the speakers, a full tune instead of the simple bar as it normally is. Despite myself, I began to feel sleepy. The last trainer box showed up on screen, flicker on and off with the letters blurring and unblurring. Trainer has been snared. Will trainer follow? I was scared and I wanted to out, so I quickly hit no. The screen shook. S-Ren's angry. The trainer sprite fell, as it always felt like it fainted. S-Ren used hyper voice. S-Ren wants you to follow. Out of the blue, violent sound burst from the speakers, mixture of metal sound and screech. I dropped the DS, but the sound continued. The screen zooming in on S-Ren's faceless eyes until skin spilt and S-Ren's eyes were glaring directly at me. The one red lips with green with pupils like black eye holes, drawing me in. I think I blacked out because the next thing I remember, I was asleep on my bed with my DS on and running on low charge next to my face. Everything seemed like my old save file. My old Pokemon safe in their PC box with a sprite of a shiny Meloetta on screen with a simple message on screen. S-Ren has been released. Thank you, trainer. That would have been the end of it. There was no sign on my game that S-Ren had ever existed. Meloetta wasn't even registered in my Pokedex. But still I felt strange. In school I found myself humming an unfamiliar tune. I don't remember sleeping, but when I turned my head, I could see a flash of black and green, like some reflected light out of my corner of my eye. I'm scared. S-Ren was released, right?